You're listening to DraftKings Network.
When Cynthia came to TurboTax, she had just launched her new side gig, a true crime podcast.
I'm a first-rate detective with a golden voice.
As her TurboTax expert, I made her second income count by guaranteeing 100% accurate filing and her maximum refund.
What did she do with that refund? Find out next week.
Switch to Intuit TurboTax and make your moves count. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
Organizationally, some things are going to slip through the cracks. Were you guys aware that a tribute video was made for Mike Ryan? That it's not just so bad that I'm reading an awful announcing article, but there's also a tribute video that I was told that Coogler made to celebrate Mike Ryan's time as our executive producer. Cougs, let's see what you got.
No me importa lo que de mí se diga, vive usted vida, que yo vivo la mía, que solo una disfruta el momento, que el tiempo se acaba y para atrás no vira, viviendo, fumando y oyendo. Siga vacilando de party todos los días. Síguelo. Wow. Wow. Síguelo. Wow. Pepa y agua para la seca, todo el mundo es patía en la discoteca. Pepa y agua para la seca, todo el mundo es patía en la discoteca.
Coogler, you lied to me. You said you were going to make something that said goodbye to Wittyngham, so I wouldn't have to sit there and endure what it is that we just had to endure.
We have one of those, too, if you want that.
Do we really?
Do we?
Great. We do, yeah.
Do we? You're just informing me of this?
Here, yeah.
Okay, that would have been the funnier joke, to just play something. Hey, let's say goodbye now, finally, a little late, formally, to our longtime executive producer, the one we cherish most, Chris Wittyngham. We don't have it right now.
No, I need 30 seconds. I need 30 seconds.
I'd like one of these. Can I retire and come back in 2 days?
Retire and just move to a different seat. We will get to that sound in a second. But, Stugotz, can we enjoy for a moment what is happening in basketball? Because I don't know if you saw this, but the Timberwolves, last week was a crazy week in sports that we didn't even see because we were swallowed by the Super Bowl.
Yep.
But the Timberwolves went to the Clippers. The Clippers had been the hottest team in basketball, won by 21.
I had the Clippers.
And then spent a lot of time saying the Clippers are sorry, laughing and singing and calling them old as hell. I've lived long enough now to see James Harden, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard face a team of Minnesota players that I would have laughed at for trading for Gobert, and they come in and swamp the Clippers and make them look old and laugh on the sidelines while telling them they're old, and they've got the team of players younger than the other Los Angeles team that has the oldest player in the league, and LeBron's being left behind.
It's so odd because the T-Wolves are 38-16, the 1 seed in the West. They are really, really good, and I can't get myself to take them seriously. I just can't. Like, I can't see them winning an NBA championship.
I believe that a lot of people listening to this are going to think to themselves that the Lakers and Warriors can turn some sort of thing on, and they will judge against Minnesota and OKC and everyone else at the top of that conference, maybe even Denver, even though they've won the championship. You can't do it against the best because I've seen LeBron and Curry be better than you when they're at their best. But I think the guard has changed. Like, I expect these teams, I expect the younger teams to show me something in the playoffs, but I do fear the Clippers. Like, if I have to play the Clippers.
You don't fear LeBron anymore.
I don't feel LeBron anymore.
Because he made it to the Western Conference Finals.
I'll tell you what, I fear the Clippers more than I do the Warriors. And a lot of people would disagree with me on that because over the last week, everyone is, because you've seen for 10 years the Warriors be great, you expect them to be able to summon something, even though the last time they tried, they could not.
Right.
The last time you saw that was Klay Thompson actually being Klay Thompson. Now he's just a shell of himself.
But every once in a while he can give you the game. He gave it to you. He's given it to you a couple of times recently, even as he's given you the public vulnerability that athletes never do, which is I'm okay with a reduced role. I'm okay looking in the mirror and having Draymond yell at me, quit crying. Quit crying.
He's got no choice, though, Dan.
But Draymond Green is asking Klay Thompson to toughen up and have Stugotz. This part to me is super interesting, okay? We just got done with the Super Bowl. Look how hard it is to kill the real champions. You doubt. They're falling apart. He's the tight end's dating a pop star. It's crazy around them. I doubt. Oh, they win again. Why? Because they're better than everybody again and again. The Warriors have been that for twice as long. Mm-hmm. Twice as long. Borrowed Kevin Durant, spit him out. They've dominated that sport when LeBron wanted to be dominating the sport. They had the team. They built the architecture to fight him. And now it goes down. And Klay's whimpering, and Draymond's like, not yet, Klay. Not yet. I want to fight. I'm going to go out here punching my teammates, choking Gobert. And Klay's like, I got a reduced role. And Draymond's like, no, I want to fight the league, and I'm the furnace. Did you see that locker room video of Klay's whimpering, getting in his feelings, and Draymond's like, will you toughen up? I was ejected for a finals game, and I came back and scored 32 in a game 7.
Klay responded with 26 points.
I'm saying he's the furnace. Klay's not the furnace. Klay gets the benefit. Klay could have been traded for Kevin Love and scored 30 points in Minnesota and never won a championship. The leader of that team's Draymond, whether you like it or not.
Yeah. I mean, Draymond tried to make the LeBron James trade go through. I think Klay Thompson would have went to L.A.
I just think
he's running the team.
I think it's crazy that Draymond Green is the leader of that team. Like, almost fundamentally crazy. Like, he's got to go to therapy to cool down the furnace because the whole thing runs on him being strong.
But they've said it throughout the years, and I'm surprised you're surprised, only from this standpoint, because Steve Kerr, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, they have all said he's the guy that gets us going. He is the guy. He's the leader.
No, but Stugotz, I'm talking about how that has been playing with fire for 10 years. Sometimes it gets ejected for Game 5 of the finals.
Right.
It's still, Stugotz, he's made his broadcasting career now and says he's the new media, and he's not wrong. He's going to do a simulcast with Barkley while he's playing. That's the top of both games. Mm-hmm. Draymond Green will give you 12, 6, and 6 and a bunch of defense and a mouth and a furnace and winning and a heart and will crush people the way no one active will crush people to their face and in private, and then you're all wondering, why is Gobert allowed to be dragged across the court like that? And the league gets real worried. Oh, no, Draymond's out of control, while it fuels the best thing we've seen the last 10 years. Because that thing has been as good or better than LeBron. That thing won Andre Iguodala a finals MVP for merely holding LeBron to 35 points a game.
That thing has been the best thing in the sport for the last decade,
but
easily.
This is the part I'm fascinated by because we love the storylines. And will it be the Clippers? Can they handle Westbrook? They got four knuckleheads. Can OKC actually survive and be young because they're great? Or is the dying dinosaur dynasty got one more Draymond's going to kick you in the nuts on the way out? Like, that's the story. It's
and you think the young teams are coming for the Warriors? That's done. No more Warriors. No more LeBron. It's over.
I think in both sports.
Be careful.
I think in Stugotz.
I care about you.
In football and basketball, we've lived the changing of the guard. We're already having the Brady Mahomes conversation, and in this sport, yawning indifference about Denver. Who's really coming to get the Warriors and the Lakers? Who's really coming to finish LeBron and Steph? Because competitive champions go down the hardest. Stugotz, for everything LeBron has done in his career, among the craziest, is he still this good at this age? Like, he shouldn't.
The Warriors still want him.
He shouldn't be in any championship conversations. It's asinine.
And Jokic is going for his third MVP, and nobody's talking about the Nuggets, but like there are so many teams that the Golden State Warriors have to jump, and if everything is right in Golden State, it feels like they can. Like we've seen it happen before.
No,
right?
you believe in nights like last night when they beat Utah by 30 on the road, or the last week of what they give you. I think they're a 500 team. I don't think they could turn anything on. I don't think what the Lakers can turn on in the in-season tournament is something they're going to be able to do again. Like I don't. Are people expecting that? Are people expecting?
I mean, the Lakers did it a year ago. I mean, the Heat did it a year ago.
The Lakers.
I mean, Dan, they got to the Western Conference Finals, did they not? LeBron kind of turned it on at the end there.
I mean, Denver, I feel like Denver ran roughshod through the entire postseason last year. Like nobody thought any. I mean, maybe you thought you were doing the same analysis on Denver that you now do on Minnesota and OKC, which is I haven't seen them do it, therefore I don't believe they'll do it.
That's fair. The last 5 games, to be fair to Golden State, they have won against your Brooklyn Nets, one of the best teams in the NBA.
Good team.
The Sixers, the Pacers, the Suns, and Utah. I mean, they've won 7 of 10. But I'm not going to write them off yet. LeBron, I'm okay with. I'm not going to write Steph Curry off.
I've written them off, and now we have stalled sufficiently so that we can give Wittyngham the tribute, the long overdue tribute that he deserved a long time ago. The best executive producer we've ever had, however brief it was, Chris Wittyngham. Goodbye to you belatedly.
Andy King.
It's a very brief run.
Cup of coffee.
Thank God.
You know what? If someone takes a foul ball to the penis, we should just say he took a foul ball to the penis.
A cup of coffee, but what a legacy. Hit him in the penis, cesarean section. Woody's taking a shit in the bathroom. I mean,
Magic Kachuk.
Shitting
I
him.
forgot about that one.
So has to do a show in a bathtub.
Shittingham.
Shitty.
Shitty Witty.
I can't believe it didn't make the cut in the tribute, pardon the pun, that him explaining C-sections to you. How the pain of a C-section is.
Right. Modern medicine has made childbirth so easy. Women are just complainers. They'll never stop complaining.
Quality sleep can help boost your reaction time, recovery time, and performance. That's why the Sleep Number Smart Bed is designed for your one-of-a-kind, ever-evolving sleep needs. Only Sleep Number Smart Beds let you choose your ideal comfort, your sleep number setting, and feature cooling layers for more comfortable sleep. Sleep Number Smart Beds learn how you sleep and provide personalized insights to help you sleep better. It's like having a coach for your best sleep. Committed to improving your overall athletic performance? Set a quality sleep goal that's healthy and realistic for your lifestyle. Time your workouts. Sleep Number Smart Beds show your ideal sleep and wake schedule and best times for activities like working out and winding down based on your circadian rhythm. Log how long you slept. Sleep Number Smart Beds track the total time you sleep and the percentage of your sleep that is restful. Believe it or not, sleeping longer doesn't necessarily equate to more restful sleep. And now, during Sleep Number's President's Day sale, save 50% on the Sleep Number Limited Edition Smart Bed plus special financing for a limited time. Only at Sleep Number stores or sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the National Football League. See stores for details.
Dan Le Batard.
Well, my point about Jimbo Fisher is that Nick Saban, he's been trying to cancel me for saying that Mrs. Met has cake. And Bobby Bowden would have said, Mrs. Met, she is snatched.
Stugotz.
Yeah, I never pay for a player. Now, I would pay for Mrs. Met to give me a lap dance.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
I morphed Nurkic into Jerkic over the course of that segment.
Valentine's Day, Dano.
Vegas, Super Bowl week, Radio Row.
Can you guys explain something to me? I would like the group to explain this because perhaps you have felt the aging process in some of the ways that I have. because I don't know if Tony or even Jessica, loud talking at the airport, drunker than Greg Cody, Jessica, has felt this the way that I'm about to express it. In my 20s, I could do Vegas and recover in a day. It would take me a day, and it would be a hard day, but I'd be okay. I feel like this entire company is still feeling Vegas on Wednesday of this week. And Jessica, you are a vibrant young person. I think that you are somebody who could conquer Vegas, drink hard, and then come back here and be here on Wednesday okay.
She likes to be sleeping by 8.
That's why Lehman's taking me out to lunch for Valentine's Day. He said, I know you like to go to bed early. You got to go into work Thursday. We'll do lunch. I said, that you get me. You get me, Lehman.
How broken are you?
I felt better after I went into the break room, and everyone said they felt like shit too. At least it's not just me. I thought I was just being a big old baby, but Kirsten, she's feeling it. Lewis, he's feeling it. Everyone's feeling it, Dano.
Dan, I've never felt better.
The company is taking a beating. I believe. Is anyone with Tony Billy? What are you shrugging about? Because
just because, of course.
Well,
I've never felt better in my entire life.
Feels good.
Roy, how are you feeling?
Well, I got lucky yesterday because yesterday was supposed to be the first recording session for Montgomery & Company for the season, except Renee got sick. So I was working from home.
So you were lucky.
Don't you love it when that happens?
You were lucky.
I slept. Yeah.
You never say take the day off. You were working.
Great.
You were
Lucky
working.
you. Yeah.
What are you doing, Roy?
You're always
Come
working
on.
from home.
You were
Lucky
working,
guy.
You were working hard from home. Is what you
Don't ruin
meant.
it for everybody else.
So you got a hangover sleep day that no one else around here got.
I wonder if Renee didn't get sick.
It's her fault.
It's her fault.
But you got lucky, and she got
I
sick.
got lucky and she got sick. So hopefully,
Hopefully it takes another week for her to recover.
yeah, hopefully.
We can only be so lucky.
Or 2. I mean,
Maybe you don't ever want her to recover.
Whoa.
Well,
that's extreme.
He could pretend to work from home.
Just start airing re-airs, see if anybody notices for the next 3 weeks, and just take your Tuesdays.
that's a good point.
We're a billing beast, you know. You should tell people that you're working hard on your days off to earn your money, not that you are sleeping at home to get the hangover off you.
Well, normally I do, but it's Vegas.
But I thought it was me, and my age. You guys are telling me it is not. It's the way that everybody was working, and that everybody's. Look, we don't need to relive the whole thing. We've done enough of that this week. But people don't have any earthly idea how hard it was to get that spaceship in the air. Correct? No idea.
No idea.
It was partially the fact that we were working like 20 of 24 hours, and also like had enough money to eat one meal outside of the catered meal, so I was pretty hungry the whole week.
Yeah.
Vegas is expensive.
Yeah, very expensive.
It was a business trip, Dan. It wasn't a, you weren't going there with your friends.
I mean,
we
6,000
were.
calories a day.
No, I know, but it was a business trip. We were working, and many of us were working, 16, 17-hour days. Normally, when I go there and I play cards, I drink, I do cocaine, I go to strip clubs, I have the whole day to recover.
I mean,
I
you
did it this time
you did
around.
all of that.
Right.
But I do want to take the opportunity, like no bid here, to commend the God Bless football crew of Billy and
Oh my
Stugotz.
God, they crushed it.
I don't think I've ever seen someone tackle as many hours of content, because they multiplied by God knows how many X amount on God Bless Football, and then they did our main show, which is a beast in its own right. So I do want to take the opportunity to commend them.
It really is. It is, yes.
Mike Fuentes and Juju, I could speak for Billy on this, did a fantastic job. And Billy had me so organized and ready to go. It was fantastic. We had a lot of fun.
It didn't stop you from trying to
I had
subvert
no
him
fun.
at every turn.
Oh, no, of course.
Smoke
breaks.
Opposite of Roy, I had no fun on the trip. Just so everybody knows. I did not enjoy that time because you got in trouble for saying you enjoyed your Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I did not enjoy it.
Well, Billy, you had a thankless job, but you successfully wrangled the Stugotz in a way that makes him happy about what he made and happy to have enjoyed being the star of Radio Row. You did that thanklessly in the shadows.
I got to say, one of the things I've enjoyed the last 2 years is Billy is becoming a star at Radio Row. I mean, Dog loves to see him. Josh Allen, he met his nemesis. He went face-to-face with him. Billy was the story for a couple of days on Radio
Didn't
Row.
Russo get your name wrong?
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you call you?
McGill.
Oh.
He thinks you're our zoo guy?
No, I think he thinks that I'm a sandwich at McDonald's.
Oh, Irish.
He called him Mr. Gill and then Mr. McGill.
Yeah, it's really weird. I just
Dr.
rolled with it.
McGillicuddy.
Yeah, I mean,
What were the
classic doggy.
You told me that there wasn't anything particularly memorable from the Josh Allen video, but you did tell me that you had one video with somebody that you liked from God Bless Football. Do you remember what that was? Because I'm
trying to remember.
I can't recall. You had one moment on God Bless Football that was more memorable than all the others.
There was a moment where Billy went face-to-face with Josh Allen. There was a moment where Bubba Watson needed to hug Chris Cody, not once but twice, because Cody was upset about the skills challenge and Tua.
Bubba Watson is now a friend of God Bless Football. He wants to come on and talk football all the time. You made some legitimate friends. You guys have a community of legitimate friends, and you had this moment with Lil Dicky, too, where you guys were deciding.
We played Marino, Montana with Lil Dicky.
What? Who were you gonna? You were gonna play it with Montana?
With Marino.
With Marino.
Okay, you were gonna play it with Marino based on the M&M. He was advertising
promoting
M&Ms.
M&Ms. We're gonna open up a bag, and if there were more blue ones than Marino, it settles it. Marino wins. If there were more red ones, then Montana wins. We never got the opportunity.
You were gonna do it, so instead you did it with Lil Dicky.
Well, Lil Dicky is a big sports fan. We didn't know how much Lil Dicky actually likes sports, and he was there, and he was.
I didn't know who he was.
Well, that's another thing.
If you listen to his rap, he drops in Olden Polonies references.
I think he name dropped me in one of these.
Well, he started breaking down like the Philadelphia Eagles like coaching staff hires, and we're like, okay, calm down, Lil Dicky. Like we don't care about this.
You should have introduced yourself to Lil Dicky. He did absolutely mention you as a lyric.
Against Kornheiser, I think I was the embarrassment in the lyric. But what was this?
I think you caught a stray.
This is us, I think, playing Marino, Montana with Lil Dicky.
Look, there's Dan Marino right there.
Oh, wow. See, now, that's cool.
Now you're excited. Look at you.
Do you think Dan Marino knows you?
No way.
Really? If you want, just get up, go and say, hey, what's up, Dan Marino?
I can't. I have too much. It's too
really?
weird.
What do you mean? Go say hi to Golick.
No, he doesn't care about Golick. He cares about Dan Marino.
That's right.
Yeah.
Look at you. You're starstruck a little bit. You're Lil Dicky, man.
It's Marino.
Yeah.
That's Ace Ventura's Pride and Joy.
That's
Dan
exactly
Marino.
right. We like to play a game called Marino, Montana.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's basically the whole game. It's Dan Marino.
That's it. You got to pick one.
I wasn't like I can't tell you that I grew up watching these guys to give it the proper eye test.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I can just tell you, I don't know, statistically, you got to go Montana, right? He's one more.
Dan Marino's right there.
I know. Well, he can't hear me.
That's true.
Yeah, but you see what he did? He did the rings thing.
Stugotz, what a phony baloney you are. You're saying, say hello to Marino, you're Lil Dicky, and you have no idea who you're talking to.
No. Jess told me right before.
Just go up to Marino and tell him you're Lil Dicky. That'll mean something to him. I don't know who you are.
That's what I do. I mean, mayor of Radio Row.
I did it to Wu-Tang. Who am I to say?
Starting is everything when it comes to fitness. Peloton helps you start no matter what level you're at. Wherever you're starting, there's thousands of classes to get you moving. Whether that's beginners or advanced rides, feel-good live DJ rides, or artist-themed rides, they've got something for you. Peloton bike instructors keep you motivated from day one. They'll show you the basics, help take the guesswork out of your workout, and encourage you to build from there. And now with Peloton Entertainment, you can keep moving and watch your favorite TV shows and live sports as you ride. Perfect for those days when you don't want to miss a thing. And if you don't have a bike, take a dance class, take a core class, take Pilates, take a stretching class, start a program with Andy, do a core program with Emma. You can do it all at Peloton. You can get a Peloton row, and you're not even going to get wet because it's inside your own house without water. How'd they do it? I don't know. Wherever you're starting, get moving with a Peloton bike or Bike Plus rental at onepeloton.com/bike rentals. Terms apply.
Don Le Batard.
Kiss me where you bruise me. Taste me on that fleshy part.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Taste me on that fleshy part.
Taste me, not touch me.
Taste me on that fleshy part. Wow, Bruce.
Stugotz.
I'm talking about the clitoris. I'm talking about the clitoris. Yes, I am. Now we're out here riffing. And I'm going to try to find it if I can.
Okay. Well, wonderful rendition.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Video, please get ready for me some sound from Brandon Marshall. I think it's I Am Athlete, the I Am Athlete podcast, because I'm surprised this hasn't been something that's talked about more, but maybe it's because there's some credibility issues with Brandon Marshall. This seems like it would be a real big story if it were true, or at least a big pop culture story. Justin Tinsley is a senior sports and culture reporter for ESPN's Andscape. He's the author of It Was All a Dream, Biggie and the World That Made Him. We welcome him back for his hip-hop wisdom. Kanye West has returned with #1 album on the Apple charts. He would appear to be uncancelable. And here is Brandon Marshall telling you something that I had not heard. I've not heard a second source confirm this. It sounds like it's just a rumor, but here is what he says happened to Kanye West around Taylor Swift's skybox at the Super Bowl.
Kanye West pulls up to Vegas. Kanye West buys a ticket right in front of Katy Perry's booth. So anytime they were going to be showing Katy Perry, Kanye's face was going to be there.
Did you say in front of Taylor's booth or in front of Katy Perry's booth?
Oh, my bad. In front of Taylor Swift's booth.
Oh.
He had a mask on with his logo on the mask, right? Typical Kanye. Taylor Swift gets pissed off. She boom boom makes a call or two. Everybody's involved. He gets kicked out the stadium.
Oh, this is hot.
But Kanye, this is hot tea.
Okay.
Got kicked out the stadium. He was trying to leverage her celebrity to...
Because he knows they're not going to cut to him, so he's like, I'm going to strategically position myself. So every time they cut over here to her.
So now you got to go back to the beef, him cutting her off. It's like, Beyonce should have won it, and then years after, and just that whole relationship. But that's what he tried to do, man. He tried to sit in front of Taylor Swift.
Somebody would have reported this if it were true, right? Somebody else, a second person, would have reported this if it were in any way true?
I mean, I guess, but I'm not going to question Brandon Marshall.
Justin, are you?
I have to, because I feel if you're involving Kanye West, if you're involving Taylor Swift, and you're involving Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl, and there's no secondary backup source or confirmation from that story, I don't know how accurate it is. Now, could it have actually happened? Sure. I don't put anything past anybody, especially when it involves Kanye West. But there's video online. I saw it on Twitter the other day of Kanye West in a suite with Anderson .Paak. And they, the internet did its research, and I actually zoomed in as well. It's late in the third quarter when this picture was taken. So if Kanye was actually kicked out, unfortunately for him, he got kicked out right when the game started getting really good. But I haven't heard this confirmed by any other source. And I just feel like if this actually happened, TMZ would have been all over it. It would have been the first story on a lot of podcasts and radio shows across the country. And I just haven't heard this from anybody else other than Brandon Marshall.
If you were Kanye West at this circumstance and you wanted to get more publicity this way, why not just confirm it to bleep with the media, because who cares?
Yeah, I mean, of course, this is a guy who, Kanye West, he's been a focal point in the spotlight for over 20 years at this point. We just recently passed the 20th anniversary of his debut album, The College Dropout. And it feels like we've been talking about him ever since. And he understands what a moment looks like. And so he knows if he has an album coming out, and it's been reported about the struggles about getting on streaming and him trying to find other arenas to perform in. We know about these struggles. If he has a chance to promote that album and promote Kanye in that moment, I don't see why he wouldn't do it. So that's why I question this reporting from Brandon Marshall.
So this is interesting, Justin, because if you reported it without a second source, I'd believe it. And I believe Brandon Marshall. It seems unfair to Brandon Marshall.
Yeah, it seems, and look, again, it may be correct, but I just feel like if this actually happened, if Taylor Swift got Kanye West, again, like he said in his own video, knowing their history, if Taylor Swift got Kanye West kicked out of the Super Bowl, that would be major news.
It wouldn't happen quietly.
Right. Kanye would have said something, because him getting kicked out by Taylor, or allegedly by Taylor, kind of plays into his hands if that's the attempt to siphon off the fame.
All right, but let's stop talking about the stupidity of this, Justin, and let's talk about the larger overall problem, which is Kanye West's commentary and behavior has been super questionable and actually cancelable for a long time now, where you can wonder about his mental health, and yet he's got the #1 album on the Apple charts. He's not actually cancelable, is he?
No, because he's always going to have that legion of fans behind him who will support him in whatever he does. Kanye's never wrong. Kanye's ahead of the curve. Kanye's this genius. So he's going to have that segment of society, which honestly, Dan, Stu, that's a large segment of the musical fandom in this country. Kanye operates a huge space in that, and nothing is going to change it. Now, granted, yes, things will change in his career. Obviously, we saw how those comments impacted him in terms of business and in terms of music as well. But that doesn't mean that he still won't have a large following behind him. It's very, honestly, to make this comparison, it's very Trump-like in a sense.
Isn't a bigger indicator of him actually being canceled or not, because I don't actually think that's a real discussion. Ben Shapiro had a #1 overall track when it came to streaming. I think the bigger example of him not being canceled is him actually getting time on the Super Bowl. He bought ad time.
He got a 30-second selfie video.
And the NFL and networks have taken stands before and not allowed advertisers. There have been plenty of people willing to pay for the time, and that's a decision that the NFL and CBS granted.
Yeah. I mean, look, unfortunately, we know how time influences discussions. Now, had Kanye done what he done what he did last year in terms of the anti-Semitic comments he made on multiple programs, if he did that like 2 weeks before the Super Bowl, then no, that wouldn't have happened. But I think, unfortunately, in many ways, enough time has passed that, there's been so many other big stories that have dominated pop culture since then. It's like, okay, maybe we can let this guy come back in. And of course, if you're going to pay for it, we know how Super Bowl commercials go. So
all right, but
at the end of the day, money talks.
Hold on, money talks. Hold on a second. Let's think about what we're examining here. That Kanye West, who has been a raving anti-Semite with comments that
it should be noted in fairness, he has since apologized. The most, in terms of his commentary on Jews, the most recent thing that we have is an apology.
Okay,
Correct
but when he's talking about time here though, the amount of that time passed, okay, the comments at any other point in our history would have gotten an artist actually canceled. A Super Bowl ad, which is a 30-second selfie video in the back seat of a car that alerts people to merch on his website. He's claiming on Instagram that he sold 284,000 orders for $19.3 million in under 24 hours. So not only is he not canceled, he's strong enough to have a Super Bowl commercial and turn it into a merch commercial during the Super Bowl. So it's not just not canceled. It's the strength of riches. Do you buy these numbers? Because a Super Bowl ad is more than that. That would cost him money if that's all he sold in 24 hours.
That thing with Kanye, you got to take a lot of things that are half truth. He's going to say what makes him look good in that moment. And honestly, saying that, oh, this is my Super Bowl commercial, costs X amount of dollars. This is my new album, whatever the case may be. He's going to make a business decision for Kanye. And again, that segment of that population that will follow him everywhere he goes and believes everything he says, they're only going to hype this up even more. Now, do I believe it? I don't actually believe it. He may be looking at something gross when it's really a net pay, but I feel like if he made that much money in that short a span of time, the same way with the allegedly getting kicked out the Super Bowl, I feel like that would be much more of a bigger story. And it just feels like he's the only one promoting this news, and there's nothing really to back it up or to challenge him on it.
What were your main takeaways from Usher halftime show as a pop culture phenomenon?
I thought it had everything it needed to be in the discussion of some of the best Super Bowls of halftime. Now, to be fair, I don't think anybody's going to top Prince in 2007. I mean, the man literally did Purple Rain during a downpour. It doesn't get much more epic than that. But in terms of Usher, this guy, we know he's an incredible performer. Like what he did on that Super Bowl stage was basically a preview of what his residency looked like. So we knew he had the performance down. We knew he could sing, but he was actually singing without background vocals. And that was a very physical performance that he did. And obviously the catalog backed it up. So I won't say it's the greatest of all time, but I guarantee you within the next 5 years, we're going to be talking about that as one of the best Super Bowl performances of all time.
Tony's making a face at you.
It was okay, Justin. It wasn't the greatest thing of all time. He was a little bit breathy, ran out of breath. His dance moves were okay. The roller skates, get out of here. It was average.
Get out of here.
I mean, that's what the residency was. That's Vegas, baby. Like that was.
Oh,
the
trust
show.
me, I was there in a mink coat. I know exactly what Vegas is.
There we go. Okay. All right. Frank Lucas.
No snitching, though.
Here's the most important question from the Super Bowl. Did Kyle Shanahan know the rules for overtime?
Oh, my God. Stu, don't get me started on this. No, I don't think he did.
Thank you.
I mean, his players actually said it. His players looked up at the Jumbotron like, oh, they found out the rules the same time Ice Spice did. That's unacceptable if you are in the Super Bowl. You had 2 weeks to plan for a moment like that, and your players, arguably the best team in the country, in the league all year, they don't know the rules to overtime in the Super Bowl, and you're playing Patrick Mahomes. I'm not saying the guy should lose his job. He should not lose his job.
He should.
But until he reverses this is a stain on your career that you're not going to be able to get over it unless you actually win one. That is unforgivable. And I'm not even a 49ers fan.
Stugotz says no one is out here more aggressively with the take that Kyle Shanahan cannot skate on this.
No, you can't be forgiven for something like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's the Super Bowl, baby. The Super Bowl.
Follow-up question to that. You're the York family. You own the 49ers. Bill Belichick calls you. What do you do?
Oh, come on.
No, I don't think so.
You took it too far.
You're not all in.
No.
I don't think you fired the guy.
Now you've gone too far.
Him all off.
This is what Billy said you yesterday. This is the thing. You give Stugotz a little bit. Stugotz, good take. And he's like, I needed more. I need more. Fire him.
Dude,
keep going.
Right there with you, baby.
Set fire to him in a public square. Yes. If you keep agreeing with him, he will keep taking it out further and further.
Let me know when you get to the Belichick portion of it. It will take a couple of days. I get there, quicker than anyone. But let me know when you get there, Justin, and we'll call me back, okay?
I absolutely will.
We'll have you on again. All right.
The Super Bowl was a lot of pop culture events meeting in the middle, and one of the news stories that has resulted from that is Beyoncé kind of did this big unveiling and the album plans, and she's going country with this next album. Is that country radio stations are emailing people back who are requesting Beyoncé songs that they're a country music station and they will not be playing Beyoncé, even though the songs are country songs. What do you make of that?
This is going to be a prominent discussion in pop culture for probably the next year. We're going to I understand what's going on here. Similar to Act One, which was Renaissance, and that brought attention on the contributions that Black artists have made to house music. It's going to be the same here with country music, because that is a long, rich, complex, and at times very depressing history in terms for Black artists. So I think the album is going to be fine. It's going to be another Beyonce spectacle, big moment, great album. It will go up for Album of the Year, which will also be another conversation we'll be hearing about for the next year, because guess who drops her album in March? Beyonce. Guess who drops her album in April? Taylor Swift. So, this cycle is just going to repeat itself. But there are going to be discussions about Black history in country music, Black artists in country music. What does the future look like? And Beyonce is going to be an entry point for a lot of that.
We've been talking about reckonings coming to men with power and money, Dana White and Vince McMahon in sports. Russell Simmons was sued on Tuesday by a former executive at Def Jam who alleges that Simmons raped her in his apartment back in the 90s and ruined her career. He's had similar lawsuits against him thrown out over the years due to the statute of limitations. Is there going to be a reckoning here, or is Russell Simmons going to skate like he's always skated?
Dan, I hope so. I really hope so. Yes, we know about Russell Simmons' history in terms of what he meant for basically constructing and building hip hop during its infant stages. We get that, but that cannot overshadow the actions and the history that this guy has been involved with in terms of some very graphic and ugly sexual assault, rape situations. I got to tell you a personal story, Dan, and this topic really means a lot to me for a lot of reasons, but one in particular is when I was working on my book, the Biggie book that you had mentioned earlier, It Was All a Dream, I interviewed Drew Dixon. And for people who don't know who Drew Dixon is a former music industry executive, a very brilliant woman. And unfortunately, she is a survivor from Russell Simmons raping her in the mid 90s. And she told me a story about how she was very close to Biggie Smalls. And that was one of her very good friends. And I asked her, I was like, well, did you tell Biggie about, you know, what happened in this situation? And she was like, no, I couldn't, because I didn't want to be responsible for him going up to Russell, potentially ruining his career. But I also didn't want him to let me down if he didn't do anything and still stood beside him. And I think that's another part of this conversation about Russell Simmons, and obviously about sexual violence, sexual assault, rape as a whole. Yes, the actual act is horrific, but the burden that it leaves on victims and survivors, that's what really needs to be talked about. And so every time I see Russell Simmons, I saw him last year. He was doing a lot of hip hop related events with Eric Adams, and Eric Adams was calling himself the hip hop mayor, and then being seen, beside Russell Simmons. He was on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I do hope you talk about somebody that needs to be just removed from the conversation. Russell Simmons needs to be removed from the hip hop conversation, because there are just too many stories. There are just too many lives that have been ruined by these actions, that is just reprehensible. And you can't talk about success without talking about the evil that comes with it as well.
Justin, thank you for being on with us. Appreciate the time, sir.
Thank you for having me, fellas.
All right. Unfortunately, I did not have time to get to with him my Wu-Tang mistake.
How convenient.
I was hoping to illustrate it, and I was hoping to get his opinion on
What a
that.
coincidence.
Oh, man.
We could have him back on when he gets around on Belichick.
Nope, I gotta go.
When Cynthia came to TurboTax, she had just launched her new side gig, a true crime podcast.
I'm a first-rate detective with a golden voice.
As her TurboTax expert, I made her second income count by guaranteeing 100% accurate filing and her maximum refund.
What did she do with that refund? Find out next week.
Switch to Intuit TurboTax and make your moves count. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.